All right, now this is what everybody's been waiting to see or hear, or at least all the haters anyway. Because this is when Floyd fights Jose Luis Castillo, and Castillo was the champion at lightweight, and everybody, this is the fight that if you want to find one fight where anybody can say that Floyd lost, if you want to make him a loss, give him a loss, basically, they're gonna pull this fight out and say Castillo beat Floyd. I never thought Castillo won this fight from way back then, and I think it's a controversial fight that the haters want to say that Floyd lost because Castillo did put a lot of pressure on Floyd later on in the fight. But Chavez had put, I thought Chavez, the previous fight, put more pressure on Floyd than Castillo did. But I mean, I had Floyd winning 5 out of the first 6 rounds. So if Floyd wins 5 out of the 6 rounds, are you telling me that Castillo won the next 6 rounds and Floyd didn't win another round the whole fight? I mean, come on, let's be realistic. So there's no way I could see anybody thinking that Floyd lost this fight. Um, Floyd, if it wasn't for the commentating of this fight, if the commentators had just been quiet and you just watched the fight, you would have never ever ever said that Floyd lost this fight. The commentating plus the crowd who wanted to see Floyd lose, if you're not watching the fight and know what you're looking at, you're gonna go with what they're saying and be conditioned to believe what they're saying, that Floyd lost the fight, but nah, Floyd won that fight. Good fight by Castillo. Castillo was an awkward type of fighter, and styles make fights, and that's what makes boxing so great. Styles make fights, and Castillo had a trickier style because he was a little awkward, and Floyd did have a hurt shoulder. Um, Floyd bloodied his nose in the first round. I mean, the very first round, Castillo had a bloody nose. After the first round is when it was right after the first round, going into the second round. Floyd told his corner that his left shoulder was hurt. So you can't make it an excuse. The left shoulder was really hurt. I mean, after you bloody the guy's nose in the first round, I didn't think Floyd at that time wasn't thinking, I need to find a way out of this one. I just bloodied his nose in the first round, so now let me make up an excuse. Come on, his shoulder was really legitimately hurt, and the thing is, I'm not gonna get too deep into that, because I'm not here to really analyze the fights, but we're looking to see. The real key here is to look to see, um, was Floyd fighting the best competition or was he ducking? Well, this is his first fight at 135 pounds, and he immediately gets a title shot. He's fighting the champion. So definitely this is not a duck fight. You see, that's what gets missing in this whole thing. Floyd came up to try to fight the champion at the next weight class. And that's what he did, and he beat him. Okay? Um, you can also think about this too. At that time, Floyd was having a lot of issues with Bob Arum. At that time, Floyd felt that he should have been getting bigger fights. So his issue with Bob, this is the thing. His issue with Bob Arum in Top Rank was that they didn't believe that he deserved the bigger fights and more money. He believed he deserved more money because at the time he felt he was the best fighter. So this is not a guy that was ducking. He wanted to fight the best guys. He wanted the biggest fights, the big paydays. He wanted all of that at that time because he felt he deserved it, because he felt he was better than all of the guys that were making more money than him, like the De La Hoyas. So that was an issue at that time. And he also had a dispute with his contract with HBO. And he was pursuing other options of possibly moving on and handling his own career. So all of these things were in the works behind the scenes at this time. So you're getting a lot of hate from HBO at this time, and him and Bob Arum, their business relationship was kind of getting weary at that time. Okay, so let's keep that in the picture, and check out at the end of the interviews how Larry Merchant tries to be so hostile towards Floyd, which we've all gotten used to seeing Larry Merchant do. That's who he is. Not just to Floyd, but I see he does it to other fighters. and he starts to put words in. He tries to put words in the mouth of Castillo at the end by the way how he asked the question. Listen how he does this. Check this out.
All right, having held a title for a few years now, Floyd Mayweather is accustomed to entering the ring second. Tonight, as the challenger for Castillo's title, he reverses that pattern and enters the ring first.
There are only a few thousand people here to see a fighter regarded as one of the best in the world, moving up in weight to fight the biggest, strongest fighter he's ever fought. He blames this on his promoter, Bob Arum. He's feuding with Arum again. His father says if he's got a problem with the promotion or the promoter, he really ought to look in the mirror for some of his behavior outside of the ring. Arum says all of this dates back a while to when he was fighting at the same time as Britney Spears was performing in this very same room, and they had a huge sign outside. That sign cost $150,000.
And Floyd wanted one of those, right?
Floyd wanted one of those, and Bob Arum didn't see any profit in it, but she had already sold out the arena a few times.
Well, maybe Floyd should pierce his navel and wear hip hugger jeans. So, George, are you suggesting, very quickly, are you saying there's merit in Mayweather's argument about Arum that he hasn't done enough?
It's not about Arum, it's about promoters in general. You take on the opportunity to promote a guy, it's up to you to make his name a household name, not the fighter at all. He's trusting you with that.
All right. To see if Floyd Mayweather can take another step toward becoming a household name, let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Inside the ropes, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is brilliant. He has been especially dominant in his big fights against Gennaro Hernandez, Diego Corrales, and others. The only question here tonight is whether that 9-pound advantage coming into the ring that Castillo has will be meaningful.
You make a great point about Mayweather's big fights. Dominated Gennaro Hernandez en route to an 8th-round TKO. Knocked out Angel Manfredi in the 2nd round. And completely dominated Corrales in a fight that many predicted he would lose, knocking him down 6 times en route to the TKO victory.
The good thing about Mayweather, he's been a gym rat all his life. He's had to get in box with middleweights, light heavyweights, and the whole deal. So he fights better at a disadvantage.
You think his quickness is really so much of an advantage that the 9 pounds doesn't mean that much?
No, I don't know about his quickness, but the 9 pounds doesn't mean anything. This guy's been around the gym a long time, and his dad's family's put him in the ring with any fighter. But if he can find some reason to just go into himself and rally, he can fight. Sometimes the weight advantage could be just that.
Here in the first minute of the fight, Mayweather establishes his superiority in hand speed. No surprise there. Blindingly fast combinations when he gets going. Castillo will hope to find a way to get inside and land something big. Probably an uppercut against Floyd.
There you have Floyd diving in with those leaping hooks. This is the way you hurt your hand. You got to stay right with the basics if you want to protect your hand. The crowd seemed to be equally divided, one on one side and the other.
And you hear a chanting of USA as American fans here take up the chant to support Mayweather against Mexican fans who were chanting for Castillo.
It was ever thus. My guys against your guys.
Down the stretch, you're going to get him anyway. Don't worry about it. Just fight smart. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Right here.
Besides,
Yeah, I feel good. You know, he's bleeding already. Yeah.
don't worry about that. Fuck about him. He's going to stop anyway. Don't worry. Keep fighting. Keep him in front of you. That's all you got to do. He can't outthink you no way.
Seconds out.
Okay? All right.
Mayweather made a comment in the corner about his left shoulder. We'll see if it is something wrong with it. He seems to be rotating it, try to keep it loose.
Jose Luis Castillo threw only 27 punches in the first round and landed only 3. So even though Floyd Mayweather wasn't terribly active, throwing only 39 punches, he had the edge, and there he knocks Castillo down, but Vic Drakulic rules it a slip because Mayweather's foot was on Castillo's foot.
I couldn't tell exactly what happened there. The appearance was that Castillo, in jumping back, tripped over his feet.
Floyd Mayweather. Go ahead.
Castillo was able to go on top of Mayweather's jab this time. That's what you want to do. If a guy's jabbing, you throw the right hand right on top.
Castillo's aggression mounting just slightly in round 2. But 2 interesting incidents there. Castillo went down. It wasn't ruled a knockdown. Mayweather caught a butt above his left eye.
Here is Castillo trying to make this as ugly as he possibly can to throw the dancer off, out of his rhythm.
They called him Pretty Boy Floyd, and he rapidly became the most celebrated member of the 1996 American Olympic team after entering the pro ranks. First one to win a championship, 27-0 coming into today. Regarded himself as one of the very top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Did he bite off more than he could chew? Did he underestimate the difficulty of moving up in weight against a top veteran champion who knew how to come in and make Floyd Mayweather fight his fight? Who will the judges choose in this rousing battle in Las Vegas?
And congratulations, Floyd. You went out in the last 2 rounds with instructions from your trainer, your Uncle Roger, which he said you had to stand and fight him. Were you under the impression that the fight was very close at that time and that you had to pull it out?
Well, first of all, before I even, answer that question, I want to say, Grant Boxing, he got the best gloves in the business, the best outfits in the business.
We don't do commercials.
Well, I'm gonna give him some props. Of course, I know you don't, but this is my time to shine, and so let me have my piece and speak my piece. I want to thank God for this victory. I mean, it was tough, The last, my last training day, I hurt my rotator cuff in my left shoulder, so I wasn't able to use my jab like I wanted to. My left wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be, but I ain't want to have no excuses like like other champions. When they get hurt, they don't even show up to the fight. I get hurt, I keep fighting. I want to bring the fans, big. All
right, now, but answer the question. Were you under the impression, given the instructions from your corner, that you really had to stand and fight him in the last 2 rounds, that it was very, very close?
Actually, my uncle said I was wearing him down, so he told me to, he told me that in all my big fights, if you wear a guy down like around the 10th and 11th, 12th, stand there, and break him down. So I wasn't even worried at all. I was out boxing him easy.
Was he much tougher than you anticipated? You, after all, said this was an easy fight en route to bigger fights.
Well, you gotta realize, I beat this guy with a messed up arm. My arm is messed up. But I don't have no excuse. I don't ever back down to turn out fights.
So it was a harder fight than you anticipated with what you came into the ring with?
With one arm, yes. One arm, yes. If you want a rematch, we can do it again.
So are you suggesting that you think, given the fact that a lot of people here believe that he won the fight, that you think you should give him a rematch?
This is boxing. You have ups, you have downs. He was a good fighter. It was a good fight for both of us. It was a good learning experience for me, and I'm looking forward to moving on. All
right, you moved up in weight and you fought a very strong lightweight. Yes. Did you find out that it was a little different than you had anticipated?
No, not at all. I fought the best lightweight because that's what I want. I want an exciting fight. So I moved up to fight the best lightweight they got out there. And like I said before, I took my time and went out there and did what I had to do.
Thank you very much, Floyd. Congratulations again. You seemed shocked by the decision. Did you think you had won the fight easily?
¿Te sorprendió la decisión? ¿Pensaste tú que ganaste la pelea fácil?
Sí, no fácil, un poco complicado, ¿no? Pero sí del cuarto round adelante hice el trabajo, ¿no? Como para obtener la victoria, ¿no? Más que desgraciadamente los jueces vieron otra cosa.
It wasn't easy because it was a very complicated fight, but I thought I won the fight. Unfortunately, the judges didn't agree with me.
Do you think that the judges sided with him because he's the favorite, because he comes from Las Vegas, because this is where he works out of?
¿Tú crees que los jueces la vieron para él? Porque